Good evening, everybody. My name is Margie Marc and I'm an educational consultant for Macmillan Education.
Hi everyone, my name is Susana Martin and I am digital consultant at Macmillan Education. We'd like to welcome you to this practical webinar, Getting the Most Out of Navio, in which we will focus on how to get started with Macmillan's digital platform for our primary courses, New Tiger and New High Five.
In this session, we'd like to focus on how to register and create a Navio account as a teacher, how to create classes and register pupils, how to manage a class, how to use the reward system, and how to use the progress tracker. And finally, we will show you where to find help in the future. Before we begin, we'd like to do a quick poll as to your experience of using Navio. Are you a new or existing user? On the screen you will see 3 statements. Please pick the option which best describes your teaching circumstances. Let me remind you of the options. A. I'm a new user of Navio this year. B. I was a user last year, but I didn't use it very much. C. I used Navio regularly last year. Please select the option that best describes your circumstances. Let's have a look at the poll. Okay.
So far, most of them are new users.
Wow.
Right.
Okay. So, only 12% didn't use it much last year, 11%, and 8% used it last year. So, people who've used it last year, maybe
they are already familiar to things that we are going to explain, but it is always to remind how to get started with Navio. Yeah,
absolutely. So we can say the majority, over 75% of you are new users to Navio.
Right.
Fine.
Okay.
Okay, so let's move on then.
Okay.
Sorry.
Just let's go back to the presentation.
Yeah.
Right. And let's start.
Let's have a look at the registration process.
Yeah, because there is a slightly difference. That's why we have asked this question, because there is a slightly difference on the registration or the how to redeem a new code, depending on if you are an existing user or if you are a new user. So let's quickly revise the 2 options, okay? Yeah. And to simplify this, and because we know that the registration process at the beginning of the course could be a nightmare for everyone, we developed a few years ago a website called macmillaneducationeverywhere.com, which is the main access point for both new users and existing users. So this is to simplify things. I think you can now see my screen. I'm already in macmillaneducationeverywhere.com. And as you can see, there are 2 sections here. One is for register and the other one is to log in. So the existing users, those that were already users last year and already have a Macmillan account because they were teaching New Tiger or New High Five or any other courses from Macmillan, they are able to just log in here and they don't need to register again or create a new account. So I'm going to demonstrate how to log in and how to add a new content to your existing account, okay?
Right.
Primary teacher, New Tiger.
So they use the login details from last year, the same details?
Yes. If they have forgotten their username or password, they can always recover them by using these links here, the forgot username and forgot password, and they will receive an email with the steps to recover or to set up a new password, okay? But right. I remember mine, fortunately, so I just log in. And you will see here that as I already an existing user and I have been teaching last year, I already have content here available for me. So if I click on New Tiger, I can see that I was teaching New Tiger level 1, but now I want to add a code to access New Tiger level 2. Right. Okay, and this process will be exactly the same for New High Five users. Right? We just need to click here in Activate a Code under the Add New Content section. We click here and we just need to put the access code that we have received via email.
Okay, so if I was a teacher and I had the email, I probably would copy the email, copy the access code and paste it in?
It would be easier. I mean, you can type in as I have just done, or you can just copy and paste from the email, and that is a better way and will for sure avoid mistakes.
Right.
So I already have my code. I click on check code, and this is telling me that this code is not valid for New Tiger 2 Teachers App on Navio. That's what I want to have, so I click on activate. And that's it. That's all I need to do as a new user, as an existing user. Sorry. Yes. If I now access New Tiger, I will see how I have the New Tiger 1, level 1 from last year, and now I also have New Tiger 2. But before moving on, I just want to log out and quickly explain how new users need to access their content, okay?
Yes.
And since there were a lot of new users in this webinar, I'm going to do the process for them, okay? So we choose here the register option, and let's enter our access code. Again, it is best if you can copy and paste from your email. I'm going to type in.
And the code is 20 digits long, isn't it? That's how
I
you recognize
haven't
it.
counted, but it's a mix of letters and numbers.
Right.
Hopefully I haven't done any mistakes here. Yay.
No.
So now I can see the message that the code is valid for the following New Tiger 1 Teachers App on Navio, which is what I want to access. So as we are now creating the account for the very first time, I have to choose here, create account, okay?
Right.
So I just put my name here.
And so this is where you create your login
This
details.
is exacto.
Mhm.
Well, I'm going to choose this one. I click on next. And in the step 2, I just need to use a username and a password. So I'm going to use this username. I'm going to set up password. Wait. Okay. Agree to the terms and conditions so that I can continue, and I'm going to create my account. I'm just going to confirm that this is the email that I want to use because I have already used that previously.
So if you ask for your username to be sent to you because you've forgotten it, they will send it to that account.
Exactly.
That's good.
And just click on create account, and that's it. I have already created an account and I can access my content. Okay, so let's do that. Let's open, going to the main website again, and I'm going to log in with my main credentials, so I can stay with this one, that's fine. So I have already added a new code for New Tiger 1. So let's see what is here when I click on it. Okay, first thing you can see is this generic link, this Navio Learning Management link. This is common to all levels and all primary courses. So users for New High 5 will see exactly the same here, okay? Because this is common for all of them. And I will explain later what can we do in this website. And if I scroll down, I can see that I have my New Tiger 1 content here. I expand the drop-down menu and I can see links to access the test generator and the resource bank to go to my test and other resources. And I also have a link to download the Navio app. Okay, this is exactly the same for New High 5, but the only difference is that the New High 5 users will have here their links for their New High 5 content, of course. Well, let's click on download Navio app to go to the Navio download page. Okay, so we have already created an account. We have added our access code for New Tiger 1, and we're now downloading the Navio app. So in this website, you can see the operative systems available to download. So we just need to select the one that we are using in our device, click on it, and it will download the Navio app, and we just need to execute the file. What if you are using a tablet, an iPad, or an Android device? You just need to go to Google Play or App Store, search for Navio, and download the app from there. That's it, okay? Right, so now that we have downloaded Navio, I already have it here. let's go in there and see how to create a class and how to add students and all this stuff, okay?
Right.
So I'm going to log in as a teacher. And for those that are new users, when you first open Navio, you might see a difference from what I have here. Because I am already an existing user, I have a Macmillan account, and I already have classes and content created from previous years, I can see here the classes that I have created. But if you are a completely new user, the first time that you access here, this is empty. But don't be scared, this is not a mistake, it is not an issue. It just means that you need to create a class first. Okay, so I'm going to do that to show how to do it. We just click here, add a class, and it will take us to the learning management system. Remember that when I saw the content, I mentioned that?
Yes.
Okay, so now I think it's a good moment to mention that Navio works in two different environments. One is the app, the application that we have just downloaded, and the other one is the learning management website, when I can create class, and add or remove students, and access the progress tracker, and all these things.
So let me just get this clear then. The app is all the teaching and all the learning materials.
Correct, all the content.
All the content of the course.
Exactly.
And the learning management system is the place where you go to do all the administration.
That's it. That's
okay,
correct.
Good, that's clear.
So we have we are going to create a class. Vale? We have this web here, and we just need to choose a class name. I'm going to name it Primary 2 and select the level that I want to link to this class. Right? So in this case it's New Tiger 2. Click on Next, and the system is going to create my class. And what is this? This is a menu to add our students to the class, because it is very straightforward if we, as a teacher, want to add our students and create their login details so that they don't need to care about this. Because, for example, I think in the first cycle of primary, they are maybe too young to be part of the process.
Probably.
So it is very good to just create our students. And Navio has 4 different options to do this. I'm going to show you. The first one is to add my students manually. So if we click here, you can see that we can add the name and the surname and the contact email.
So what kind of email could you put in there?
You can use, I mean, if you're in school, your students have an email account, you can use that one. You can use the parent's email or your teacher account.
Good.
Yeah, well, any of the 3 options are available for you. So you just put here the data, click on the plus icon, and you continue adding your students until you have your class complete.
That can take quite some time with 25 students though.
I know this is a very manual process, but it could be very handy if you need to add a student in the middle of the course, or if you need to add extra students. I'm going to show you later a good example on when to use this manual registration, but there is a quicker way to register your pupils.
Fine, great.
Let's see it. This option, use a CSV file, is a quicker way to upload your student all at once. Your 25 students you said you had, you can upload them at once.
Great.
So here you see, you have to create a CSV file, and I don't want anyone to be scared about this format, because this is just an Excel document saved as CSV format. So
if you got your Excel document and then you click on Save
on
As.
that yeah, exactly.
You name it, and then there's a little arrow where you can...
Yes, the drop-down menu, when you can select the format, then you have to choose CSV format. But in practice, you just need to create an Excel document with 3 columns.
Right.
In the first column, you will put your pupil's first name, second column for the pupil's last name, and the third column for the contact email.
Yeah, many schools have that already.
Exactly, yes, they can be reused for other purposes. Okay, so we already have that Excel document that we have saved as CSV. Okay, and now it's time to upload this document here. So I'm going to browse my computer. I have already prepared my list of students. And here clicking on next, I can have here all my students just uploaded at once instead of typing them manually one by one. And good to know is that if you find any mistakes in this, or there is any spelling mistake or something that you want to correct, you can do it directly here. There's no need for you to upload again the CSV file.
That's handy.
So for example, when I just spotted this mistake, this name is not correct, so I'm going to change it. And that's it.
Yeah.
So once you're happy with this list of students, you just click on agree the terms and you add it to your class. So it can take a while to add your students into your primary 2 class, but once it finishes, you will have all your students there.
And handy to see the process bar, so you can see it's actually happening.
Yes,
So
exactly. So you don't
yeah.
worry. It's not that it starts thinking and you don't know how it's going. We can see that it is now in half of the process, and it is very useful. I understand that the manual typing, if you have different classes with lots of students at the beginning of the course, it could be very time consuming, and that's why we developed last year. This is an improvement from last year, in fact, because we realized and we listened to the feedback that our users gave us, and we have added this option for them.
So far we've seen the manual in adding students.
Exactly.
And we've seen bulk.
The bulk upload.
Right,
I'm going back to the Manage Club option and open again the Add Students menu to show you the 2 last options. Okay.
Right.
We have this here, copy students over from existing class. This is very useful for those that were teaching with New Tiger or New High 5 last year and they already have classes created.
Oh, that's handy.
Because they can have the New Tiger 1 students that are moving into New Tiger 2, and they can just copy from that existing class to the new class. So let's see how to do that. If I click here, I can choose, I have 2 previous classes created, and I have this primary 1 from last year. So I have 9 students in there. I want all of them to be in the primary 2 class. Or maybe not all of them, because maybe Valentina is not in this school anymore. So
left.
I can just remove her and copy the rest of them. The 8 students that I have, I just want them to add it to the primary 2 class. And that's it. So this is very handy for those that are moving from one level to the next one.
Yeah, that's great.
Right, and let's going to see the last option, which is for those that those students that already have a Macmillan account, or that they have already logged in using their access codes that are printed in their book. Even if they have instructions here to wait for their teachers to register, they might be impatient, and they have already registered. That how can then I add these students to my class if I already have created, or if I just don't want to add my students myself and I want them to do it because this could be a very good option for the 3rd cycle of primary, which we have older students. So in this case we use this option, they get the students to add themselves. If I click here, what I get is a class code. I can share this with my students, and once they log in Navio using their username and password that they have created by their own, they just need to join the class using this class code.
So that's really good for students from last year who already have their accounts from last year. They've added the codes, they've got access, and they just join the class by using that code. That's great.
That's quite easy. So now I have this class, primary 2, with 20 students in the class. If I have registered, added my students in the class, and they are just waiting for me to share the credentials so they can log in Navio. So how can we get the student logins? So you are already seeing this button here, get the student logins. If I click on it, it is going to generate like a PDF page with automatic usernames and password for all my students. So this is a simple way to you can just print it out and share among your students. And this way, they only need to log in Navio by using these credentials that you have just created for them.
Okay, so that's handy because it's got the lines there that you can cut along, give each strip out to each student.
They can put in their books, or
and then you keep a copy for yourself, obviously.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I will explain something later, but let me show you what else you can do with this manage class option. So here you have all your students, and you can remove here students as well if you have made a mistake. And for example, Adrian shouldn't be here. You can just remove him by clicking on the bin icon, or you can edit their details. Just clicking on the name here, it will open like the screen with their data. And if you had made a mistake and you want to, or I don't know, maybe this pupil is called Adrian Jose instead of Adrian and you missed that name, so you just save and everything will be updated, automatically updated. Okay?
That's handy.
That's handy. And something that is even more handy is that you can reset your student's password here, because correct me if I'm wrong, but there's likely to happen that they will forget their password. Even if you have printed out, even if they have in the books, I don't know how that happened, but they usually forget about their passwords, right?
Also, they are pretty tricky to remember, aren't they, some of them, because they're letters and numbers.
Yes, exactly. So I'm going to explain you two ways to reset or to modify their password.
Right.
One is this button here, new password. Imagine that Adrian has forgotten his password. So we can click here and automatically generate a new automatic password for him. So Navio will provide us with a new document, exactly like the other one, but we only have here our student, just one student, the one that you have select. Yeah. So here you have his username and the new automatic password, and you can send it to him. But what if Adrian is forgetting his password like every week? It seems like Adrian has a problem with by remembering his password. So we can access his profile here again. And the same way that we have edited his name, we can also edit his password to make things easier for Adrian. So let's going to choose some
memorable information in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's going to choose Adrian Salvador, his name and his surname as the password. I think he will be able to remember this. So we save the change, and now we have the new password for Adrian.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's handy.
There is also another thing that you might want to use, and is that you might have different platforms in your class for different digital content, and you might want your students to use the same password. For example, I don't know, Primaria 1 for all of them.
Yeah.
So that way, the same thing that we have done for Adrian can be done for all your students, so that they can have the same password.
Yeah.
It will be very easy for them. The only thing that I just want to highlight is that if you remember, when we have explained the Get a Student logins, I said that it generates automatic username and password for all the students. So if you have already modified one of the passwords for one student or for all the class, I would recommend you not to click on Get Students logins again, because that would change the passwords that you have already edited.
Once again.
Exactly. Exactly. So if we click here now in Get a Student logins, the password that we have just choose for Adrian, which was Adrian Salvador, will not be valid anymore. Right. Okay. So this button is for you to use at the beginning of the course, but then if your students are forgetting their passwords like too often, then I recommend you to save their credentials and their access details for example, in a Word document, so that if you change the password for Alicia Benito, you can update it in the Word document, and you can have a record of all their user details. So, and that will not make you stop the class every time they miss their credentials.
Yeah. That's very important.
So I think I have covered everything that we can do in the Manage Class section. So maybe now it's a good time to see how they think and what they would like to use most.
Absolutely. On the screen we have another poll question for you, and it's to see what you think about the form of registration that you would prefer to use in the classroom. So the question is, which form of pupil registration is the most suitable for your own teaching situation? Let me remind you of the options. The first one was the manual registration, where students' details were introduced into the learning
one by
system,
one.
by one. The second one was bulk upload with an Excel document which was saved in CVS format to save time. The third one was moving students from one course to another. So if they'd been in New Tiger 1 last year, you just simply move them over to new Tiger 2
Correct.
This year. And finally, the last option that is the class code. So you would give your students a class code. If they'd already registered and had their own user name and details, they would just log in, introduce the class code to join the class, and then they're with the class, which is good. So let's see what kind of form of registration you would prefer to use. Let's see.
Manual and CSV. This 50-50.
50-50, interesting.
Yeah, no, it's true, because taking into account that most of our audience today are new users, it makes sense that they need to choose between one of these two options. And okay, we have 50-50. Half of you will choose the manual and half of you will use the CSV.
That's fine.
Fine.
That's fine. It's good to know. And also that these options are available, 4 options are available to you as well.
Yeah, they can choose whatever the option that suits better. You know,
okay,
for
so
everyone.
Let's go to Tap and Teach then and have a look at the reward system.
I have just opened Navio.
Yep.
I'm going to open, I think, new Tiger 3. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Okay, and I'm going to access the Tap and Teach.
Okay. So, as soon as the majority of you are users of Tap and Teach and Navio, you will know some of the key features, but really this section is to highlight the rewards features, because a key feature or key benefit of the reward system inside Navio Tap and Teach is how it motivates pupils to learn English. When pupils make an effort in class, you can reward them or award points to them by clicking on the reward icon at the bottom of the screen.
Yes, I'm already on the Tap and Teach.
That's right.
So for those users that are completely new, we're going to give you later a couple of resources that will be very useful. And one of them is the webinar that Margie and I did back in April where we explained with more detail how to use the Tap and Teach and the Pupils App. So if you need more information, because now we are going to focus on the reward system and the progress tracker, but if you need more information regarding the Tap and Teach, there is a very useful webinar saved in the Advantage website.
And more resources, which we'll talk about later.
Yes, we'll talk about this later. Okay. Yeah. So, should I go into the rewards?
Yes, just go into rewards, please. And if you go into rewards, you'll see the students in our class are present. Let's imagine that Alex Barcos is not present today, so we're taking
I can take it off.
And then we go to lesson rewards at the top. And we can group our students into 1, 2, 3 or 4 groups as we wish.
I'm going to
3 groups?
3,
yes. Okay, and we've just completed an activity in class, and Team 1 have worked really well. They've stayed on task, they've not been distracted, and they've worked well together as well, collaboratively. And we want to award them some points for their performance in class.
And the good behavior.
That's right. So we can select the team.
Yes.
And you can see it's highlighted in blue, and then we can click on the plus symbol at the bottom right, in the bottom right hand corner, and award them points.
Right.
That's it. And if you wanted to award an individual student points, then we can click on a student or a pupil and then award that person points. You will have to unselect the team first.
I have to unselect the team because I'm adding points to the team, to the previous team as well. Okay. I'm going to add points only to Nerea this time.
That's fine.
5 points for her as well.
So now we've given points to Nerea. Let's go into the Pupils app, Nerea's Pupils app, and see what the points look like when she goes in. So and what's the point of earning points and behaving well in class.
Let me go back and log in into the Pupils app with Nerea's access details. And we can show how she has received the points.
It's really satisfying for pupils when, to see when they go into the Pupils app the points which have been awarded in class, and that's why it really is a very useful mechanism to use.
Even more if you do that in front of daddy and mommy.
Oh, no? What? Yes, particularly the lower cycles.
Here I have. Okay, I already have the points that the teacher has been giving me during the last sessions.
That's right. So all the sessions that she's been, and all the points that she's been awarded in her classroom, she's getting them now. But she hasn't been into her app for a while.
These are the points that I have just gave
right.
her.
Okay,
right.
good. Okay, so now Nerea would like to be able to spend those points. Obviously, when she's in the app, in the Pupils app, which you will learn about in the other webinar, but when she's in the Pupils app, she will be following the pathway, she will be completing her language practice activities, and she will be earning more points. And this time the points will be based on her academic performance and her language skills and abilities rather than her behaviour. But we can click on her avatar in the right hand corner, in top left hand corner, and then we go to, you'll notice that there is a guide. Jet is her guide, but if she wanted to change the guide, she could just change over to Macy if she wished. There's two possibilities there. Jet and Macy are the guides in the Pupils app, but they also give feedback and they give the points.
Every time you finish an activity, they give you a feedback and say, well done, or try again.
That's right. Okay, so to keep you on track as well, keep you motivated. So let's go into edit the avatar. And we can see that Nerea can change the colour of her skin tone. She can change into a boy if she wishes. She can be tall or short. She can change her face shape. But she can also change her clothes, her hairstyle.
This is like for free, right? I can do it with, even if I have no points.
That's right, that part's free. And often you're encouraged to do that at the very beginning.
Yes.
But obviously you need points to be able to change the face expressions, the hairstyle.
And the hairstyle and everything.
All the accessories, the ears even.
Right, so can I get blonde?
Yeah, make her blonde, let's see how she goes.
I have points enough. So
so you can preview what it will look like, and then if you're happy with it, you can confirm.
Change it.
That's right.
That's it.
That's it. So if you go out and done, click on done.
Right.
Another aspect of the Pupils app with the point system is the rewards at the top, the badges at the top. So pupils, as they complete activities, the more they complete the activities, the more they repeat activities and spend time on task, the more likely they are to learn English and to achieve better learning outcomes. But also the badge system encourages them to do that.
Right.
So if they get a blue badge and they repeat the activity, a challenge activity, it'll go to green, and then the more they repeat, it will be bronze, silver and gold. At the top you can see the overall number of badges for all the activities they've completed in the app. And then you can also have a breakdown unit by unit. And you can flip around
Should
there.
we have a look to that? To the progress tracker?
Yes, let's have a look at the progress tracker, because it's important for teachers to be able to monitor pupils' progress as well.
Okay, so I'm going back to the Learning Management website that we already know. I'm going to access our class where Nerea is.
Yes.
And here, instead of accessing the Manage class, which is what we have seen previously, I'm going to access the progress tracker.
This can be accessed via Navio's dashboard as well, but it will take you to the learning management system.
What I've done for myself is to save this website as my favorito in my browser, so I can access via the Navio app, or I can just open the browser. If I don't need to use the Tap and Teach, but I only want to access the progress tracker or to do some changes in my class, then I just, instead of opening Navio and accessing from Navio, I just open the web browser and access directly to my
That's a really
system.
good fast route. It's good. It saves time as well.
Okay, so we already are in the progress tracker.
Okay, so let's have a look at how we can monitor Nerea's progress. If we just focus on the Pupils app for the moment, we can look at her progress in the digital course book and also the digital activity book. But for today, we're just looking at the app.
Because the activities that we have done previously are on the Pupils app.
Right. So if we look at, there are 2 students who've completed Unit 1 activities in this course in Tiger 3, New Tiger 3. Mark Ali has completed Unit 1, as we can see, and he has completed part of Unit 2, and he skipped ahead to Unit 4 as well, where we see the clock, but it's not finished it. However, Nerea has finished Unit 1 incomplete, and she's not gone any further. But that's fine because she's on track. We're actually at Unit 1 now. We can see at the top of the screen the class average is 97%. And that helps us to make comparisons between how pupils are faring. So if we look at Mark Ali's progress, we can see he has achieved how many percent?
94.
94%. So he's below class average, not too far off actually. But that means that we can maybe need to give him a little bit more encouragement to repeat the activities and improve his score.
For example, if he had here, instead of 94, if he has like a 25%,
that would be
and
a
the
telling
average
sign.
class is 97, that would mean that he really needs some help.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't be worried about Mark at this stage at 94, but I would be worried if he had 25, definitely. But it's really good to monitor their progress. It's not just about scores, it's about there's a lot more information in this progress tracker to be able to help teachers monitor pupils and evaluate them in the way that we'd like to do nowadays. So let's look at Nerea in more detail and click on her name. Nerea obviously has done very well.
Yeah, she has 100%.
Yeah. Okay, so we can see here we have a breakdown of the lessons in the unit. So we've got vocabulary, we've got story and grammar, etc., etc. And we can see she's got 100% for all of them.
For all of them.
We can also see the time that she spent completing the activities inside each lesson, and there are a number of different activities. So if we look at the grammar lesson, for example, we click on that, we'll get a breakdown of the activities and see in more detail what she's been doing.
Right. It's quite useful to access the detail of each activity. It's not just, I really like that you can have a view of all your pupils, but also access each pupil and see what he has been doing in every activity. Yeah,
and what's really nice is we can see the skills at the top, we can see the learning objectives, so we click there, we can see
the grammar concepts that we have been using. This is a nice reminder, for the teacher to see what has been evaluated in this unit or lesson.
Yes, and it's very good for evaluation purposes for the teachers that they have to do that regularly. And also the key competencies, we're evaluating in terms of competencies nowadays, so this is important too. If we scroll down, we can see for Nerea, for this particular lesson, we can see there are a number of different activities, and we can see she has completed them all, and she has a number of blue badges, a green badge, and a gold badge.
Yeah, because he has completed a challenge activity and he has done it 3 times, so maybe he has been increasing her points and getting more.
And we can see the number of attempts that she's made for each of the activities. So, for example, in Grammar 3, she's attempted it 2 times. And the first time she achieved almost 80% in her score.
Very good.
It is good. But the second time, she improved her score to 100%.
And how can I know? Because I don't know by heart, I don't have the print book in front of me, and I don't have Navio open, and I really don't remember which activity was this Grammar 3.
All right, well, there's a very easy reminder. If you click on the eye icon, you can see the actual activity.
And now I can remember and see how difficult this activity was.
Yes. And you can also recall back, maybe you did that activity in class as well.
Right,
so, so there we are, you have a breakdown. It's very important to remember, and it's also useful to know the time on task, the amount of time Nerea spent doing completing these activities.
Not half an hour.
Yeah. Which is a reasonable time for those 5 activities, to be honest. Yeah, it's very good. Okay, so the information inside the progress tracker can be exported, and that's very useful for teachers to know. You can export it by clicking on the export option
button,
as an Excel document.
Or a CSV.
También.
Yeah,
okay,
CSV, I know everyone thinks that CSV is a very weird option, but it can be also used in some LMS system, some learning management system that you might have at the school, so it could be reused somehow.
That's right.
So,
that's
really
to have
useful.
Those 2 options.
And then in the Excel document you will see all your information, and you can filter then.
Yes, it's very easy to filter the Excel document to be able to find, specific students, one specific activity, the scores on that, etc. So as I said, it's not just about scores, it's about monitoring the change in their progress.
Right.
Really seeing how they progress through the different attempts that they are
really useful. Yes.
Completing the activity.
What is this notifications tab here?
Oh, right. Okay. Now that notification tab. This is not activated at the moment, but because we haven't been able to go into the
digital student book now.
Absolutely.
I remember. Yeah.
But normally, when a student completes an open question, as is in the workbook often, or in the pupils book sometimes, and they complete an activity which is an open question, usually a writing question, but it requires more than a score, but more detailed evaluation. That you would have to mark as a teacher.
Yeah, so as a teacher, I have to create it manually.
That's right. But here you'll see a little red mark next to notifications.
So once, for example, Nerea complete one open answer activity and send it and check it, then I will receive a notification here to remind me that I need to go in there and correct that Nerea activity that has just done.
That's right. You would mark Nerea's work. And as soon as you've marked the work, Navio automatically sends the score that you've given to Nerea to her Pupils app. So the next time she opens the Pupils app, she will see the score.
Right, and the next time that she opens that activity, because she can do it again, she will be able to see the score, and she will be able to repeat the activity to try to improve that score if
she wishes to. She can't repeat the activity until she receives the score, but she will be able to do that afterwards. And that's very useful for her to do as well.
It is, it really is. And so far, I mean, everything is clear to me, but I think now is time to ask our teachers if they have any questions about the functions that we have just explained in the webinar. So I think you might see now chat in your computer. So if you have any question, just type in, and Margie and I will try to answer the most as we can.
Okay, let's have a look and see if there's any questions.
Right, I really like the progress tracker because it's not only just the scoring, and it's not just punctuation. It's just that you can see if someone is being behind of the class, and you can just help or identify. Or if, for example, all your students, you can see in the progress tracker that all your students are having problems with this grammar activity. Yeah. Then you can identify that something is happening and they may need some extra explanations on that topic.
Yeah, no, that's very useful. You give them remedial work, you can give them more practice. Right. You can go and refer them to repeat an activity inside a Pupils app.
Motivating.
That's very
first
good.
Questions are coming. How can I get the access code to get started? Do you want to answer that?
That access code will be sent by Macmillan Education automatically in an email to you.
So if you don't, I think if they don't have it, they just need to contact the delegation, the commercial representative.
Yes, the delegation or the commercial representative, and remind people that you are waiting for your email, for your access code, so you can access the course. How do notifications work?
We have just explained when a pupil makes an open answer activity probably in the digital student book or in the digital activity book, and they just send it. You as a teacher will receive a notification to go into the progress tracker, see the activity, and correct and score that concrete activity.
Yeah, a little red mark comes up on notifications, and that will alert you to the fact that you have work to mark at the time. Yeah, okay. Is it possible to add a class from the website or only from the app?
You can do it from both places. You can choose to do it from the Navio app or to the website, but it's true that if you choose the Navio app, it will take you to the learning management website.
Okay. Is there a way, let's see if we can get out of this.
I can read it for you if you want. Is there a way to get the students' details from the main English teacher and her substitute? And it's lots of work to do all from the... I think I think there is not. I will need to check that, but I think you might need her access details, and I don't think if that is possible to obtain. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you could contact the teacher and ask, that would be great, but it may not be possible in all circumstances. You know, I'm not sure. Yeah. That's a difficult one.
How can I delete a class which is not used anymore? You can access in the learning management system, you can access the manage class. You have all your classes there, and you click on one in the title that opens, you have a delete option. So if you are not using a class anymore, you can quickly delete it. Yeah. And you can also remove the students, for example, all at once.
That's quite easy to do. Is there a way to get students' details?
This is the one that we have just answered.
Okay. The app is very slow. Is there any option to make it quicker?
It has very high requirements due to the Pupils App. We have seen the Pupils App is like a video game based, so it's true that in some devices it might work some slow. It works slow at the very first. It improves the second time that you open it. It goes more fluent and more smoothly.
Yeah, because the first time it's downloading all the content, exactly, and the next time it's quicker. It says here, how can I show students?
How can I show students the pupils and the activity book on my digital screen? I think you mean via the Tap and Teach.
Yeah.
I think in the Tap and Teach, well, I think I don't know if we have explained this or this is in the webinar, but via the filter, I think this is in the webinar that we gave in April. In the Tap and Teach, when you access the filter, you can filter the activities and only show the ones that are coming from the Pupils App or from the digital student book and all the components. So that's the way to show your students the activities that maybe you want them to complete at home.
Yeah.
And Margie, I'm afraid that we don't have more time to reply questions, but we are going to note it down and we are going to reply to you all, because there are some questions that I can see coming that are very interesting, or some people that need help with something specific. So we will contact you in these cases to give you the answer, because I'm sorry, but we don't have more time because we still need to show you something.
Okay.
Sorry.
So let's move on, but we will be in touch with you and we will send you some more information. Okay, I'd just like to remind you of some of the resources and materials that are available for you as Macmillan users. Exclusive to you in Advantage, you can see the user manuals, which are written in English and Spanish. There are quick guides written in Spanish to get you started, just very quick guides to get you started with Navio. There are over 13 video tutorials which explain visually the different stages and features of Navio, including the registration process. But we're also going to include in Advantage this webinar this evening, which will be there, and also the webinar from April is already there. Yep. So if you want more detail, we do encourage you to view that webinar as well. There's a white paper on gamification. If you're interested in the principles of gamification which have been applied to the Pupils App and Navio. There's a letter to send to parents with login details should you wish to register your own pupils, so you can send the login details home with the pupils. And in addition to that, there is a series of introducing new Tiger and introducing new High Five videos, which are gives more information on the course materials and the methodology of the course materials.
Yes, and before closing this, I just want to remind that we have customer care department with a team of technicians that are available for you if you need any assistance, and you just need to drop an email to atencioncliente@macmillaneducation.com. Right?
Okay, so with that, we'd like to say many thanks for attending this session. We hope it's been useful for new users and a helpful reminder for existing users. We'd be grateful if you complete the SurveyMonkey questionnaire before leaving this session, and we will be sending you handouts and a certificate of attendance at the end. Right. So many thanks and goodbye.
Goodbye, thanks.
Goodbye.